I love the movies. Comedy, drama, action, sci-fi, The Hobbit. What are the experts saying about the movies? 501 movies in 501 days. That's my record. This is my area of expertise. I'm Greg Turkington, the new host of Greg Turkington's On Cinema at the Cinema. Time to get serious about movies. This is going to be fun. That's a wrap. Hey guys, welcome to the premiere episode of Greg Turkington's On Cinema at the Cinema, the show where we review movies and provide critical expertise so that you can make a decision on what movie you want to see this weekend. You may have seen the show in the past. This is a little bit of a different show now. We're going a little more into the world of expertise. People are asking me, who is your guest expert going to be now that you're hosting the show? And we went through a lot of applications, but I'll tell you something. Being a host is a tough job, and it's hard to be able to be a host and an expert. We needed to bring somebody in who could fulfill that role better than anyone. And I think you'll be surprised at who we found. I'd like to introduce right now the new guest, the new permanent guest of On Cinema at the Cinema, Greg Turkington. Oh. Hey guys, good to be here, back on the show once again. It's been a pretty busy time off, during which I set a new world's record. I aimed to watch 500 movies in 500 days, and we did it one better with 501 movies in 501 days. So I'll be hearing from the Guinness folks pretty soon, and we'll keep you up to date on that situation. Pretty cool. Today the movies that myself and my guest will be reviewing include Jupiter Ascending. This is directed by Andy and Lana Wachowski, starring Mila Kunis, Channing Tatum, and Eddie Redmayne. In the future, a young, destitute woman gets targeted for assassination by the Queen of the Universe and begins her destiny to finish the Queen's reign. What did you think, Greg? Yeah, you know, this is kind of the epitome of the popcorn movie. These are the guys that did The Matrix, and if you love The Matrix and The Matrix 2, The Matrix 3, the sequels, you'll love this. They haven't done sequels to this yet, but I'm sure they will, and I'm sure we'll like those as well. Needless to say, I agree with our guest. I think that this movie is really a lot of fun. It's the kind of thing you'd want to go to with a friend because it gets a little scary. I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn. Our next movie today is the SpongeBob movie, and it's directed by Paul Tibbitt and Mike Mitchell, starring Tom Kenny, Antonio Banderas, Clancy Brown. In this movie, SpongeBob goes on a quest to discover a stolen recipe that takes him to our dimension where he tangles with a pirate. Let's get some expert opinion on this one. I'm going to give this one 5 bags of popcorn and maybe a souvenir keychain from The Matrix, just to remind folks of the origins of this film. Sorry, that's from Jupiter Ascending. How about the SpongeBob movie? Oh God, what can you say about SpongeBob? He's an American institution. Having him on the big screen where he belongs is kind of a thrill. This is something you could take your kids to. You can take your grandparents too, because SpongeBob's been around a long time and built up quite a fan base. I'm going to give this 5 bags of popcorn and a little cup with SpongeBob printed on it, and you can have soft drinks or even put a handful of popcorn in it. And it's an interesting trend. Television shows or cartoons expanding into being feature films, and it's something we should keep our eye on for the future. Now we have a new segment here on the show. Oh, and I give that one 5 bags of popcorn also. The 10 bags in total for SpongeBob, the SpongeBob movie. And so we have a new segment here that we're debuting. I think this is going to be pretty popular with the movie heads out there who watch this show. In the past, I hosted a very popular segment called Popcorn Classics, where we looked at some of the great movies in all genres. Because of my hosting duties now, it's a little bit hard to maintain the quality on the Popcorn Classics segment. I've got a lot of hats to wear. And so we're introducing a new segment, which we're calling Golden Age comedies. WC?
Godfrey Daniels! It's me, your old pal W.C. Fields, here to introduce a new segment called Golden Classics of Comedy. I just want to thank Greg Turkington for having me here to do this. And do I have a Golden Age comedy classic for you today? Starring Drew Barrymore and Luke Wilson in Home Fries. These two love bugs get into it just like I used to when I would play Squilligan with my leading ladies. It stars two lovers and a pregnant Drew Barrymore. The only problem is his brother wants to kill her. The only question I have, do you want fries with that? It's a great movie, and I think it's going to be fun for everyone. Maybe too risque for the little ones. This ain't no Mae Westy film. It's one of my favorites. That said, I've never watched a movie I didn't enjoy. All right, I want to throw it back to Greg Turkington, and I can't wait to be here next week and every week in this exciting new chapter of WC's career. Back to you, Greg, my little chickadee.
W.C. Fields, the legend, and that's a great segment, W.C., and we'll be seeing a lot of you in episodes to come and in seasons to come, because we've got some pretty high expectations for this program over the next few years. Finally, a show that introduces movie criticism for all to enjoy, and I'm very excited about it. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on Greg Turkington's On Cinema at the Cinema. Great to be here, and I'll see you all next week on Cinema at the Cinema with your host, Greg Turkington. Right. No.
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. My name is Tim Heidecker, the original host and now the new host of On Cinema at the Cinema. Thanks for watching. I'm glad to be back. This is my show and I appreciate being back with the old host who is now my guest, Greg Turkington. Greg, thank you so much for being on my show.
Hey guys.
I gotta say, this has been a wild several months. And I'm going to try to get through this without getting too emotional, but I do want to bring everybody up to speed. It's going to be a long show. It's going to be a somewhat painful show because of where we're at. I don't know how much time we're even going to have for the movies, but let me just start by saying last week I was in such a different place because of what I realized all at once was I do not belong in Jackson Hole with the filth trash that live there, bad people. Don't ever go there. Terrific. Let me put it this way. I was getting guys that were involved with KKK, all right? I didn't know that when I was hanging out with them and doing business with them, but I found out later. It was a bad scene, and I had to get out of there. And I was looking at Greg Turkington's On Cinema at the Cinema, and it dawned on me that where I belong was what I had given up, which was being the host of On Cinema at the Cinema. And I had it all. And it dawned on me, I said, why did I throw all that away to go to Jackson Hole to live amongst these terrible people who are doing terrible things to me? And I have to say, I want to thank Greg Turkington here for agreeing to come back and be the expert that he is on this show. I know that was a painful conversation we had to have, and I am proud of myself for making these hard choices. I want to salute myself and pat myself on the back for having the courage to admit when I'm wrong, and also to acknowledge that there is a place for me, and it is here as the host of this show. It is great to be back as the head of the On Cinema family. I am the father of the On Cinema family, and the father has come home, much like in the classic Bible tales of Abraham and Moses and Jesus Christ himself. I have come back, and my flock is now amongst us, and I am the shepherd to this flock. Almost like in the story of Christ, he has risen from the grave. and I am back to reclaim what is mine.
Like the Ten Commandments.
Like the Ten
Charlton
Commandments
Heston.
with Charlton Heston, yeah. You can almost quote Arnold Schwarzenegger himself by saying, "I'm back." And, you know, Greg, you demonstrate a real cautionary tale. You've taught us that you can't do everything. And Greg did the best he could, but I think we all agree that I belong back here running this ship. And it's great to have you on as an expert, and you make a great host, make a great guest. And we are great to be back to where we started.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad to be, you know, providing the expertise and stuff.
Greg, did you want to say something about this experience? Maybe.
Yeah, you know, I kind of thought it was going to go on longer. I went into this new season as a new show, new credit sequence that we worked very hard on.
Oh, a quick note: we are going to be obviously going back to the old credits. I didn't get a chance to fix that. That's what everybody wants to see.
We could mix the old and new credits since we're both sort of the regulars on this show. So you say something about movies, I say something about movies. I think that would be kind of cool.
I want to thank you for coming in and doing that. I mean,
Yeah,
giving
yeah.
it your best shot.
And,
it
I
almost
look forward
gives you
to,
excuse me. It almost gives you a little more perspective on the work that goes into what I do.
Yeah, you know, I always thought what you did was tough. And then working on last week's episode, I realized, yeah, what he does is tough. What's even tougher is doing his job, also doing my job as the expert, and also producing segments, outside segments like Golden Age comedy. So I was actually doing more than you've ever done on the show, or than anyone's ever done. I was doing it all. It was a one-man show, and it was a bit exhausting, I gotta say.
All right, well, things are back to the way they should be. All things come back to the center, as my guru says. I've been reading an interesting book I'm going to talk about next week.
What are the movies?
Yeah, we'll get to the movies in a sec. There's so much to get through. News about Decker. Decker 2 is definitely happening. Everybody's been asking about that. Sort of going about it in a weird way. As some of you guys know, I took out a very large small business loan through the federal government to publish Hog Shots, which is not happening, thank God.
Oh, that's not happening?
Yeah,
Good.
I do not recommend motorcycles to anybody anymore. People should drive cars a lot safer and stick with cars. You don't need to be on a motorcycle.
No.
So the money's there. I've got a timeshare right now in Hawaii, the island of Hawaii, where I will be spending time and shooting Decker 2, because I have an opportunity to attract a better, higher class of talent, people like Clon Firth could be in it. Whoever I'm going out to, say somebody like F. Murray Abraham or somebody like this, it's going to sound a lot more appealing now that I'm shooting in Hawaii. They're going to jump on the next flight.
That's a
come
good
out
idea.
there.
You keep your core cast of Joe and myself. I mean, somebody like Abdul probably doesn't need to come back because he's dead, but Special Agent Kington or the President are sort of what makes the show what it is. And then bring in some name actors to bring in more interest in the series.
And we're still trying to figure that out, who's going to be in the show, how many characters reoccur.
I'm happy to be a part of it wherever you're shooting it.
I
so.
appreciate that, Greg. And so I want to thank everybody for their support and their encouragement. On Cinema is back on track. Decker 2 is back on track. And let's talk about movies. 50 Shades of Grey, directed by Sam Taylor Johnson, starring Dakota Johnson, another Johnson, Jamie Dornan, and Aaron Taylor Johnson. So another 3 Johnsons in this movie. Directed by Johnson and starring Dakota Johnson and Aaron Taylor Johnson, as well as Jamie Dornman. All right. Well, we all know this is a famous book about literature student Anastasia Steele's life changes forever when she meets handsome yet tormented billionaire Christian Grey. So 50 Shades of Grey is about the name Christian Grey. This was almost a porno in my book. It was a sexy thriller full of nudity and sex of all kinds, and dirty sex and pornographic sex, and it was hard to keep calm during the movie because it was very raunchy. And I loved it. I give it 5 bags of popcorn and 5 cold glasses of soda to put between my legs. To cool down.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way of looking at it. I saw it more as a kind of a romance. It did have some adult elements to it, but a lot of movies do these days. That's nothing new, and it's just the world that we live in. I think that if it's Valentine's Day or something, this might be the movie for you. So I do give it 5 bags of popcorn and 5 little chocolate hearts in a commemorative, like a heart-shaped little gift box.
All right, enough of that movie. We got the next movie come up, Kingsman. That's funny, The Secret Service. Seems like the old character from Decker 1, Kingston.
Yeah. Not old character, he's current character, but yeah, Kingston, who is the special agent, master code breaker, breaks all the codes.
The director, Matthew Vaughn, starring Colin Firth, the old Michael Caine, and Taron Egerton, whoever that is. Veteran secret agent, sounds like somebody I know.
John Decker.
Jack Decker.
Jack Decker.
Takes a young upstart under his wing. That's very similar to Decker. I think it's interesting. You see now, Decker was so successful online. You see a lot of these new movies coming out that have sort of that tip of the hat to.
Well, it's
the
more
Decker
than a tip
series.
of the hat when they're taking names of our characters and putting them in the title of the movie. It's a little bit more than that. But I mean, when you were writing the original Decker, you were looking at James Bond and sort of
No,
tipping
that's
your
not
hat to
true.
Bond, and so it makes sense
That's
that
not true. I
that
was
carries
not being
through and that
inspired
they
by James
tip
Bond
our
at all. So
hat
thank
to
you for
us.
that. But
So-
more people like Jack Reacher, Cobra, starring Sylvester Stallone.
Nonetheless, there are a lot of similarities to Decker, which is kind of what makes this good, is when you're watching it, it reminds you of how much we really appreciate Decker's appearance on the action scene. And so I really enjoyed this.
Well, I love this movie. I give it 5 bags of popcorn and 1 soda.
I give it 5 bags of popcorn and a videotape on which we've put 5 episodes of Decker, because I think these guys learned a lot from it, and it shows.
All right, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week.
No, we
on-
still got to do Golden Age Comedies, my segment that I produce.
No, we don't. That segment's dead. We're not doing that segment because
No, because we contracted for the whole
I don't-
season.
That
for these.
contract doesn't mean anything to me. It's something you made with.
Well, it means something to Mark.
I don't. Mark,
It means something to
Let me
me.
explain something to him. Mark, I apologize, but things changed here, and we're now kind of going back to the original format. It doesn't, unfortunately, that segment's not going to be something we continue on.
I can make them quicker.
I've been getting a lot of emails from people who liked the segment from last week.
All right,
It's probably
can
the-
we talk about this after
Can
the
I
show?
do this one just because I already watched it and you know, I have my suit.
For now, Mark, why don't you go ahead and give us your movie there, and we thank you for your time, and really, really do wish you the best. Okay?
It's a recurring segment.
It's not a recurring segment. That segment is done. Thank you.
Godfrey Daniels! Hello, my chickadees, and welcome back to Golden Age Comedy Classics. Today I have a good one for you today. It's called Soul Food. And it stars Vanessa Williams and Vivica A. Fox in this fun family romp. They get together and for dinner each week and they dish up the laughs. It's a warm and embracing family comedy. So this is the end of Golden Comedy Classic. I'm W.C. Fields. We just want to take a second to thank Greg Turkington for having me on. I know it's going to be, apparently it's short-lived, but I had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys did too.
Thanks.
Thank you, W.C. Fields. And that's it for now, and we'll see you next week with more on Cinema at the Cinema. Okay.
The
I don't
thing
care
is,
what
we
you say. I
paid to
don't
get
care.
the credits made for that thing.
That's
We're
fine.
not.
We'll throw that away. And we don't see him on set again.
Well, you need to give the segment a chance because it's been
No,
pretty
I'm not giving
popular. I've been
anything a
getting a
chance.
lot of emails, and I produced it, and I'm pretty proud of it.
Okay, well, it goes away today.
Well, that's just your opinion.
Well, it's my show, so thank you very much. All right, I need to go and hit IKEA because the mattress that you have for me sucks. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema with your host, me, Tim Heidecker. And I gotta say, the outpouring of love and appreciation upon my return last week was truly moving. I appreciate all those words of kindness that were sent out by you, the wonderful On Cinema family. It is so great to be back doing what I do best, hosting On Cinema at the Cinema.
I got a lot
with
of
my
good-
stand by.
I
I
got a lot of good feedback too.
with my happy to have with me today is my guest on the show is Greg Turkington.
Hey guys, and thanks for the feedback that I got from people who did really appreciate the first episode of the season. We got derailed a little bit, but in a good way. And I'm glad to be back here as the resident expert.
Great. I tell you what, it's been a busy couple of weeks getting readjusted into the LA lifestyle. Absolutely love being back here in North Hollywood here with my new roommate, Greg Turkington here. And I appreciate him letting me bunk up with him. It's been fun. Been watching a lot of movies together and talking about this Heidecker show, which is happening. So proud of myself for pursuing this. Heidecker 2 has been a dream of mine. And I have to tell you, it's coming along okay. We're kind of in a bit of a stumbling block right now with the writer's block and everything, trying to figure out some of those plot points that are going to make it so fun to watch. Have not cracked some of those codes.
Well, that's what Kingston is on board for, to crack some of the codes.
I meant in the script, writing the script, figuring out what's going to happen next has been a bit challenging. But anyways, why don't we get into the movies today, and we'll talk about Heidecker some other time. First up, we have Hot Tub Time Machine 2, starring Rob Corduroy, Craig Robinson, Chevy Chase from Animal House, and Gillian Jacobs. When Lou, who has become, I don't know what Lou is.
Character from Hot Tub Time Machine.
Right.
If you saw the original, that was the
like
main
Lou
character.
Diamond Phillips.
No, it was the main character from Hot Tub Time Machine.
Okay, I know that. I'm saying I didn't know if they should put that on here.
No, they
I
assume,
know by the
assume that
character-
you know your stuff. If
I
you're
know about
hosting
the
a show.
actors, not the character name as much.
Right.
When Lou, who has become the father of the internet, is shot by an unknown assailant, Jacob. I don't know, why is it called an unknown assailant? I see. Is shot by an unknown assailant. Jacob and Nick fire up the time machine again to save their friend. So this is a great sequel, and I'm happy they made this one. Everybody was kind of on edge, wondering what was going to happen at the end of Hot Tub Time Machine 1, and this one sort of solves some of those mysteries. And it's a very funny movie. I was laughing throughout the whole picture, and it's also a quality movie. So I give it 5 bags of popcorn and some tubs of soda.
And Hot Tub Time Machine, I really think was sort of the airplane of our generation. Just a comedy that everybody loved, and that had some wisecracks that were a little different than the usual comedy that you see. And so just as Airplane 2 came out and sort of filled us in on what those guys were up to, so we have Hot Tub Time Machine 2. And it's really interesting just to see what happened with some of the characters and some of the situations that weren't really resolved in the first one.
Yeah, how many ratings?
I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn and a little container of chlorine, which you want to put in any hot tub because of germs that get in the water.
All right, and next movie, McFarland USA, by Nico Caro, starring Kevin Costner from
Dance with Wolves.
Maria Bello and Morgan Saylor. A cross-country coach of a small California town transforms a team of athletes into championship contenders. When I saw this title, McFarland USA, I almost thought it was almost like Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy, the cartoon show, which is a sort of a X-rated, raunchy...
Ted, the movie Ted, which we reviewed
he always
favorably
does
last
this,
year.
raunchy kind of adult comedy, but it's cartoon with different, almost like, Family Guy. But this is different than that. This is more of it's an interesting story, and I liked it. I like Kevin Costner, of course, as always. This isn't your typical Kevin Costner movie because of some of the dramatic themes, but it is about sports and the team.
I would disagree with you. I think it is your typical Kevin Costner movie, and that Field of Dreams is one of the all-time great Kevin Costner movies, and it's a sports movie. And he kind of got sidetracked along the way with Waterworld and some of these other movies. And
The Bodyguard.
The Bodyguard. Yeah. And he kind of lost his way. And I think to have him come back to what he does best, your typical Kevin Costner sports, feel-good movie, that's what the world's been waiting for. I give it 5 bags of popcorn and 5 baseballs.
I give you that. That's why you're that's why I have you on the show. Your expertise really comes in handy, especially during these kind of times. When I get it wrong, I'll admit when I'm wrong. That's something I've been working on. I've been checking out a website called values.com. and everybody's getting on that site. You can check it out, but it's a great place to get motivational, inspirational messages. One of them is know when you're wrong and admit when you're wrong. I goofed on this one. It's my fault. I take it all back. Kevin Costner deserves the Oscar for this movie. He should get the Best Actor award. I don't know if the movie deserves it, but it should be definitely awarded in the nomination time.
I don't know about an Oscar, definitely a Golden Globe or People's Choice.
I give it 6 bags of popcorn and my appreciation and my thanks. But speaking of Oscars, this coming Sunday is Oscar night, and we're so excited to be broadcasting the 3rd annual Oscar special. So check us out. That's going to be live starting a half hour before the Oscars start and proceeding through the rest of the night. And we'll be there covering the Oscars throughout the whole night. It's going to be a lot of fun. Please.
It's kind of a companion to the Oscars, really. You can't watch one without the other.
No, you can't. All right, we are going to go to an On Cinema on location from Greg Turkington.
Hollywood, California. Every street has a story, and these are but just a few on Cinema, on location. Hey guys, Greg Turkington here from On Cinema at the Cinema, and we're here at a very famous location, the infamous tunnel from Back to the Future. Now, if you've seen Back to the Future, you know. Hold on, update. This is the tunnel from Decker. Yes, guys, this is the tunnel where John Decker rides his motorcycle during the credit sequence of the web series Decker. On location with Decker.
That was cool. I didn't know that was coming. You should have told me that was coming. That was cool.
No, it's kind of a surprise after the whole oh God thing. I know we had some disagreements about that, and I wanted to start this season of On Location off on a good foot.
You certainly did. I really, that's neat to get a perspective on that. I didn't, I'm sure people will enjoy that.
Yeah.
You are such a, I want to say one quick thing to you. You're such a fan of Decker, and you know the characters, you know the show.
Oh, yeah.
And I would love, since we're spending so much time together now, if I wanted to offer opportunity
Love
to
to
you.
come back as Kington.
Well, not quite that, but if you wanted to help me write some of these ideas, I know you'd have probably some good ideas in terms of what would happen next on the show.
So like screenplay stuff.
Yeah, just doing a lot of writing. Help me out of a bind there. And if that's something that you want to do, come back and play Kingsman, and
I'd love to come back and
we
that's
could find
funny.
a way. If you have an idea for how that would work in it, because I wasn't picturing that he would even be in the story, but if you have an idea where he's in there.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of ideas for Kingston's character. And it's funny that we should be reviewing the Kevin Costner movie, because that is kind of what made Kevin Costner who he was. He was the writer and the star and the director and all this sort of thing, So I'd love to come on board on Decker Season 2, and I would love to write some more for the character of Kington and also for John Decker and President Davidson.
All right. Well, if I can get your help on the script, I think we'd have a cool deal where you come back. And
I love that. As long as it doesn't interfere with my movie reviewing tasks.
So all right, cool. This is cool. We're gonna go and shoot in Hawaii and get this thing started.
All right.
And if you're got a place
been to Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, get ready, because we're gonna be going there quite a bit. We have a lot of work to do getting this ready for air. We got an air date coming up in a few weeks, so we're going to be kind of popping back and forth so we can do this show too. But it's going to be a great experience now that Greg Turkington is a big part of On Cinema. Is a big part of Decker Season 2. Right, that's the show. All right.
That's pretty cool.
I felt weird asking you on camera, but I figured you could be
it's
part of it.
kind of fun for the fans to see history kind of in the making, see how it all went down.
I'm just flat out of ideas. I don't know where to go with the damn thing.
I got a lot of ideas. Bond is kind of my thing, so sort
I'd
of
love to tap
plots
into that energy.
Yeah.
I think that'll be great. Tim Heidecker. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I'm your host, Tim Heidecker. So great to be back with you here with my special guest, Greg Turkington.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema.
Greg, it's good to see. I was going to say it's good to see you again, but I don't know how true that would be, because we've been spending a lot of time together.
That's true.
Not that it's just that I've literally been around you pretty much 24/7 now for the past couple of weeks.
Your turn to make the popcorn tonight.
All right. Well, we've been going back and forth between here and Hawaii, my timeshare in Hawaii, while we're shooting. We got a couple of episodes of Decker in the can, and I got to tell you, it has been so much fun. It's exactly what I dreamed it would be. It's coming along real well. And back here, the home front, staying at Greg's apartment, has been an interesting experience. This guy no question about it, is a movie buff because he's constantly watching movies, and it's driving me nuts a little bit because the other night I ended up taking over his bedroom because I said, if you're going to be watching movies constantly in that living room, then why don't I move into your bedroom and make that sort of my own master suite, little one studio apartment almost, and that's what we've been doing. So at least when I'm here in LA, I can have some peace and quiet. But I appreciate that.
Yeah, I know, it's cool. I mean, sometimes I want to get in there and access some of the movies. I have a lot of movies on shelves in there, and I don't want to wake you up, so I can't get to it. But since I have lots of movies in the living room, I just watch something else.
Well, like I was saying, the goal for this week should be to get all the movies out of the bedroom, and that way you don't have to ever get in there, because that would be easier for everybody. All right, and the movies today, we got to go with a movie called Focus. Two directors here, Glenn Ficarera, John Requa, two directors. I know what's wrong with one. We got starring one of my favorite, Will Smith, Margot Robbie, and Rodrigo Santoro. And this is a veteran grifter takes a young, attractive woman under his wing, but things get complicated when they become romantically involved. And this is a great movie, Focus. It's kind of a great, almost like a film camera would be in focus. That's the way this movie is. A very focused, very sharp movie, and I think it's an appropriate title for a movie that's very sharp and in focus. And you don't have to say anything more than two words, Will Smith, and I'm there. And I loved this movie, 5 bags of popcorn and 5 drinks of soda.
That's an interesting point you brought up about the focus of the movie and the title, Focus, because the movie is very focus on the story. And with two directors, I think it's easier to get that kind of focus because they can share some of the mundane aspects of being a director and focus on the story and on the great actors like Will Smith, who I do think it's about time he gets an Oscar.
How many bags?
I would focus in on 5 bags and throw in a little plastic. What was it called? What are those things called? A microscope.
Microscope.
Yeah, just throw in a little plastic microscope as a keepsake.
All right, and we have Lazarus.
How many bags?
I give it 5 already. Pay attention. And our next movie is Lazarus, directed by David Gelb, starring Olivia Wilde, Donald Glover, Mark Duplass, and Evan Peters. A group of medical students discover a way to bring dead patients back to life. And this was a thriller and a fun movie to sort of get to play one of those what-if games, and what if Frankenstein came back to life, almost like a horror movie. Great movie, wonderful performance from should be Danny Glover here. Sorry, Danny Glover. It says Donald Glover.
No, it was Donald Glover. Danny Glover wasn't in this.
Okay.
You're thinking of
black guy here named Donald.
Beverly Hills Cop, or no, Lethal Weapon.
Right.
Lethal Weapon 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay. Well, whoever it was gave top-notch work. Thanks for watching that movie, and it's 5 bags of popcorn from Donald Glover.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, the idea of coming back from the dead as a topic that's interested people for decades. And in a sense, it's sort of the new era of classic movie monsters like your Frankensteins and your Wolfman and Mummy. Lazarus could fit right in with that whole crowd, and I hope that there's a sequel and that it develops even beyond that into a whole series.
All right, why don't we jump into
5 bags of popcorn.
5 bags of popcorn, and anything else?
A 4-leaf clover sort of is good luck that Lazarus continues on and does turn into a popular series.
All right, well, that's great. So now we have here Popcorn Classics, presented by Greg Turkington.
Hey. This week's Popcorn Classic is Son of the Pink Panther. And My Little Chickadee, as W.C. Fields would have said if he was hosting this segment, which he was supposed to be, because this is actually a rewritten Golden Age comedy segment because you killed it. Now I'm handling it. So, but My Little Chickadee, it's not Peter Sellers in Son of the Pink Panther. This is actually a later Pink Panther movie with Roberto Benigni. I have a couple issues with it. I think it's strange that they put 3 stars on the cover when it's clearly a 5 bag quality movie. So that's probably my biggest complaint with it. But other than that, I think it's
That's
perfect.
why, not to interrupt your segment, but that's why I didn't want to do stars. Everybody does stars. All the newspapers do stars, and we don't want to do that. We want to do something different, something a little bit more interesting and a little more colorful. That's
Well,
why
that's
we
how
do
I felt
bags of
about
popcorn.
Golden Age comedy. Was that was a little bit different than Popcorn Classics. a
Thank you
little more
very much,
interesting.
Greg,
We
for
killed
bringing us the
segment.
insight of this movie. Great segment. Finally tonight, I just want to take this opportunity because this show truly is my forum to express myself, and a little something that I picked up from values.com, which has been sitting with me all week, is that I need to express myself from my heart. And this message is not for everybody. It's certainly not for Greg. It's not for the general public, but it is for one person only, and that would be Ayaka, my love, who I am so sorry about how things went down between us. And I know we've been in touch, and I want to keep getting in touch, and I want to let you know that I would like our lives together to be meaningful and full of love, and I'm here for you whenever you want to take it to the next level. I'm in town, except for when we're in Hawaii. So please, I've given you my phone number and my email and different ways for you to contact me. But at this point, it is on you, I think, to contact me, because you are the mother of my son, Tom Cruise Heidecker, and I want to be a part of his life, okay? And I want him to be a part of my life, and I want us to spend together the rest of time. So you are my love and my heart, and I worship you, and don't fool yourself. I know you're watching. I know you're listening to me right now. If we get back together, we could become the power couple of Hollywood.
Where are you guys going to live?
Our family could be strong together, and Tom Cruise Heidecker could be almost as famous as the little Orphan Annie, or even as successful and powerful as Tom Cruise himself, who my boy is named after, Tom Cruise. And that's my message to you, Ayaka, my love. And that's, as you have your segment, that's my segment. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you next week on Cinema. You've got to listen for me to finish. On Cinema, at the cinema. So this was, I heard you watching this the other night. It was loud.
Yeah,
Sound effects and whatnot.
the sound design on it is very loud, but it doesn't really interfere with the movie.
There's a way for you to use headphones at all for watching movies.
It's not really the same experience. You want to feel like you're in a theater. You don't wear headphones in a theater.
No. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I am your host, Decker. No, actually, it's Tim Heidecker, but I am in character. I am in the Decker costume because today is Decker Day. Next week is the beginning of Decker 2. So we're celebrating Decker 2 here with my guests from Decker, President Davidson, Mr. Joe Estevez, and Greg Turkington, star and co-writer of certain sequences. Thank you guys for coming, and I hope it's not too confusing. And this is not Jack Decker's opinion. This is just, I felt like it would be fun to be in the wardrobe of Jack Decker for this episode in honor of Decker, which is airing on Monday. Very excited about the premiere of Decker 2. I just couldn't be happier that it's getting out there.
I love the outfit. I mean, Tim, you're kind of an extension of Decker anyway, So
it is
I mean,
my
you both got
idea.
the same persona,
Right.
right? So there you go.
I think it's cool that you can combine worlds like this, and it makes it more fun for the On Cinema fans and the Decker fans. I think you'd be going too far if you review the movies as Jack Decker.
Right, well, the hair is
because-
different and everything, and I'm not doing the character voice and everything, but I just thought it'd be fun to show people that this is a little behind the scenes.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do you feel more like Decker now, or more like?
I got to say, I'm able to kind of get in between that sort of place where I can easily slip in if I'm not too
There
careful.
he is. He's back. No, yeah, yeah.
But I won't, because we're here to talk about movies. And,
Waking you up at 4 o'clock in the morning, who would you be? Would you be Tim, or would
That's a
you
good
be
question.
Decker?
That is a good question. I think it's me. I am always me, and I'm just in a great mood. We've been having so much fun putting this show together. Ayaka and Tom Cruise Heidecker, my child, they're back in my life. We're all putting the pieces back together, staying over at Greg's, and thanks for putting up with us. And,
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's nice having you around, and if we weren't so busy with Decker, we maybe catch up on some movies at home,
Yeah, but it's a madhouse over there. I tell you what, if anybody out there has kids, they'll know that it is nuts.
There's
It's
a lot of
work.
videotapes for Tom to dig through, and
Right,
I
and a lot
appreciate that.
A lot
but-
of toys and everything. It's just like jumping into the deep end with the fatherhood stuff has been wild. But going back and forth between here and Hawaii and shooting Decker and doing this show, it's just been like a real,
Hawaii, yeah.
yeah. We've been doing
Hawaii?
Decker in Hawaii,
Gee,
Yeah.
and Joe, you've been such a big part of the show.
well, I
Everyone
appreciate that.
loves
yeah.
seeing you as the president. You
Yeah,
do such a
thank
good
you.
job acting
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I often think, I mean, you know, this Decker character, I mean, what a personification he is. I sometimes think in playing the president, wow, you know, what if every president had a Decker, you know? It'd
That is
certainly be a
interesting,
different
too.
world,
I didn't
wouldn't
think
it?
about that.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's run through the
And
movies.
a code breaker too. That a lot of times these codes don't get broken, you know, because you don't have people with the expertise of a Special Agent Kington.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's
yeah.
a fictitious show, so you can
Yeah.
get people with supernatural powers, like the ability to crack codes as easily as
Yeah.
Kington does.
Yeah.
In real life, you know, it takes a lot of training, and a lot of guys still can't crack the
Imagine
codes.
what this guy could do with North Korea, huh? If you just turned him loose on that puppy, huh? Wow.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's run through these movies so we can get out of here. We got Chappie, directed by Neil Blomkamp, starring Hugh Jackman. Hugh
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackman. Oh, the old Sigourney Weaver is back, and Charto Copley, whoever that is. A one-of-a-kind gifted robot is kidnapped at birth by two criminals and finds himself the adopted son of a strange and dysfunctional family. This is another great sci-fi style movie with robots and everything, and different kind of movie, I hate to say, but in a good way. So I loved it, and I recommend it to everybody I see and meet. And I appreciate the filmmaker for going out on a limb on this one. And the acting was very good, and so was their special effects when it comes to the robots. All the best to the filmmakers and to Sigourney Weaver, who was great seeing her. And I give it 5 bags of popcorn with 2 bags of soda. What did you think, Joe and
Well,
Greg?
you know, I saw the previews when I was watching another movie, and I enjoyed the previews. So, you know,
We
I'd
don't
give
really
it.
review previews here. It's just going to be.
Oh,
if you didn't see it, that's no
movies.
problem.
Yeah,
Greg,
okay.
what did you think?
You know,
You know what? I really like this movie. Sigourney Weaver is one of my favorites in Alien, and this being a science fiction film like Alien, I felt it was sort of the flip side of Alien, kind of the darker side of Alien. And, you know, it's been a long time since they've made an Alien movie, so having this sort of unofficial sequel, I thought was pretty cool.
Okay, your rating real quick?
5 bags of popcorn.
Great. Speaking of the second movie we have here, this one's, ironically, the second best exotic Marigold Hotel, directed by John Madden, the football guy, I guess.
He's a good coach.
Starring Bill Nighy, Julie Dench, Maggie Smith, and the great Richard Gere. A young, enterprising hotel owner juggling the expansion of his business, his upcoming marriage, and the lives of his eccentric and active tenants. This is a rom-com, old-person chick flick kind of movie with a lot of old people in it, which is fun to see them. A lot of these people are actual sirs and duchesses and whoever from England. English knights here and certain royalty, I guess, prince. And these folks are all down in India doing what they do down there. And it almost is one of these, it's one of these
one of those kind of.
big, put everybody in there and see what happens kind of movies, improv. And Richard Gere, of course, is always great. I love this movie. 5 bags easily with 10 cups of soda, I would say. And I'm giving it 5 bags of soda.
You know what I thought was really interesting about this movie is
Let me kick it to
it was,
Joe first. And Joe,
Oh, I didn't see the previews even on that one, so. Yeah, you
Yeah,
take
what I thought was interesting about this is that with some of the classic movies, when they make a sequel like your Rockies or your Jaws, you get Rocky 2, Jaws 2. They just put a number after it. And instead they actually incorporated the fact that it was a sequel into the title, The Second Best. And I think that's an interesting, very creative way to do that. And I think it could usher in a new era of this type of creativity. So I really like the movie for that. And I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn. Or maybe the way to phrase that I will give it the 5th bag of popcorn, which is kind of what they did with their title.
All right, and finally, a rare third movie here because there's so many movies coming out this week. The Coop, starring John Pierce Brosnan and Owen Wilson, and Lake Bell. In their new overseas home, an American family finds himself caught in the middle of a coup. They must now look for a safe escape in an environment where foreigners are being executed. I didn't get a chance to see this movie because of the travel we've been doing, going back and forth and gearing up for the premiere of Decker 2, which starts on Monday. But it sounds interesting. I love everything that these actors have been a part of, so I'm going to recommend it and say go out and check out The Coup, starring Pierce Brosnan, Owen Wilson, and Lake Bell. And it's 5 bags of popcorn.
Well, if you're a Bond head, you'll watch anything Pierce Brosnan does. And of course, I loved it because of that. So I'm also going to give it 5 more informed bags of popcorn because I did see the picture. And I'm going to throw in a little golden gun as a sort of a tip of the hat to the man with a golden gun, Mr. James Bond.
And Owen Wilson, he's terrific, you know.
Yeah, he's always good.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen this one as well? Or?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, big thanks to my wonderful 2 guests on this Decker Day episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. We got Greg Turkington and Joe Estevez. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you at the premiere of Decker 2, which starts on Monday. Coming
Where's
up.
the premiere going to be?
I'm just saying we'll all be a chance to watch it. This is sort of
okay.
the premiere party here with me in costume and everything like that. Too much to do. Got to get back to Hawaii and finish making the show. Once again, check out Decker Season 2 starting on Monday right here on this website. And you'll be able to see new episodes of Decker Monday through Friday. That's every day of the week. And it's a wonderful new series written by me with some selected sequences written by Greg Turkington and directed by myself as well as produced and starring Tim Heidecker as Decker. We want to thank, it's a great series, Decker 2, Port of Call, Hawaii, Operation Save the Island of Honolulu.
Lots more Special Agent Kingston, too. If you missed that character, he's back.
And it's really something we're very proud of the show. And Joe plays the evil President Davidson again.
Wow.
And God bless America, and thanks for checking out the show and watching On Cinema. All right. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, we're doing a lot of it. Some of it we're doing here as well. We're shooting kind of back second and stuff.
Is it flight at 10 o'clock? Yeah, we're flying at 10
I'll see you on set here 'cause we're shooting your stuff.
Don't need me in a way?
We're just kind of shooting around that.
Wow.
Because-
Well, you don't need me. You don't need me.
Okay,
I
yeah.
gotta go.
Yeah, all right. Good fun, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
And you know how to get
packed.
out of here?
Yeah.
See you, Joe.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to On Cinema at the Cinema. My name is Tim Heidecker. And I got with me Greg Turkington with me, as always.
guys.
Sorry, we're a little behind getting ready for this episode today. Yes, as you can tell from the shirt here, we've been basically commuting back and forth between here and Hawaii about 3 or 4 times a week now, which is driving me nuts, and doing a lot of red eyes and yes. So, but we are here to talk about movies, and let me get back into this here. 2, 3, 4, okay. I apologize. Last night, I got to say, a lot of things been going on. I've been traveling a lot, but the good news is the Heidecker family is back together again. Ayaka has come back to me with my son, Tom Cruise Heidecker, and we are all happy family living at the Turkington residence now, back in the master bedroom. So we appreciate your hospitality, even though we're hardly around, you and I, because we've been busy with Decker so much. I appreciate, it's just great to be a family once again. And a quick plug-a-roo for my son, Tom Cruise Decker, who is trying to be an actor. This is his headshot. He's such a natural on camera.
He's got the acting
He's
bug.
got that bug. He's got that thing in his eye that just says, wow, I'm going to be a star. Like how Harrison Ford was the Gerber baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You
Before
could see.
Star Wars?
Yeah, of course, he was a baby. But you could see it in his eyes. The Gerber baby, he's like, you could tell that he's going to grow up to be a star. They don't just pick anybody out of the bucket. All right, so anybody out there watching in the biz, I know this is an industry show, beloved by the industry. Anybody want to give old Tom Cruise Heidecker a shot? This is your opportunity to get in on the ground floor of something special because he has a unique talent. He's one of the greatest actors. He might have to change his name when he becomes super famous. But that's Tom Cruise for you. So contact me if you want to use him for commercials or billboards or whatever it is, because he's very talented for his age. And I wish him the best. Anyway.
He could play the baby in Blondie. Remember the old Blondie comic strip? Did they ever make a movie
Yeah,
of
I'm
that?
sure they were going to reboot that. They rebooted all. So I can almost see Meg Ryan or somebody like that playing that part.
Blondie.
All right, well, let's get to the movies because we have to get out of here. And I got a bug bite or something. I don't know what the hell happened there. In the heart of the sea, that's like where Hawaii is, right in the middle of the ocean. Directed by Ron Howard, old Richie Cunningham, Chris Hemsworth,
He's done
Cillian.
a lot of other things than Richie Cunningham.
I know,
Director.
but I'm just saying he was in the original Happy Days show.
Directed Cocoon, which we discussed.
A whaling ship is preyed upon by a sperm whale, stranding its crew at sea for 90 days, thousands of miles from home. This is good. I mean, it's a good movie. It's a sort of a seafaring movie with Chris Hemsworth starring in it, and really good to see him out there doing work. For Ron Howard, this is better than doing a TV show, I know. This is a great opportunity for him. Although I do love watching those old Happy Days episodes as they show up on the TV.
I'd rather watch a movie, though, than watch Happy Days, Even if it's not a Ron Howard movie, you watch 4 episodes of Happy Days, you could have just watched one movie. So it's just a waste of time.
All right, but I did like this movie a lot, and I give it 5 bags of popcorn and 1 bag of
also,
soda.
Happy Days itself was a ripoff of a movie, American Graffiti, which is one of my favorite movies that Ron Howard's also in, but they just stole the whole concept and then turned it into a TV show.
I don't think so. I think that was a movement back in the 70s, late 70s, of sort of a nostalgia period towards looking back on the 50s with nostalgia. So you have bands like Sha Na Na and this and that.
But American Graffiti, the Happy Days people admitted that was their inspiration. That's why they cast all the same people in it. Ron Howard and some
Tom
of the
Bosley
others.
was not in American Graffiti.
No, well, they're not going to get the whole cast from Happy Days, from American Graffiti into Happy Days.
All right, well, we'll agree to disagree on that. I think Happy Days would have happened whether or not you had American Graffiti or not. If you ask not Penny Marshall, her husband, Gary Marshall.
Rob Reiner's.
No, Gary Marshall created Happy Days. He would have said that this is based on my childhood and growing up in a small town in the 50s. So,
but American Graffiti was George Lucas before Star Wars. That's what he made, and that's one of the reasons I like it so much, is you can feel the roots of Star Wars in the story, even though it takes place in the 50s in a little town. Some of the same conflicts come out.
Did you have a rating? Did you have a rating for In the Heart of the Sea?
Yeah, I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn and 5 little rubber duckies in case you want to put them in a bathtub and recreate the movie in your own bath.
All right, now this is the next movie called Cinderella.
What did you rate it?
5 bags. I want to talk about the next movie here, Cinderella. We all know the story of Cinderella, directed by Kenneth Branagh, starring Kate Blanchett, Lily James, Haley Atwell, and Helena Bonham Carter. A live-action retelling of the fairy tale. Well, we know what this is about. It's Cinderella. It's a classic movie with the golden slippers and all the rest. We love this movie. Both of us saw this together. We had to. Saw it last night at midnight, and couldn't say I didn't take a little Sleeping Beauty rest of my own during some of it. But that is not to discredit that it is a great movie. It's one of the best movies of the year. And Kenneth Branagh should get the Oscar for Best Director. And that would mean this is a classic 5-bagger, and it deserves my appreciation and support.
Well, it's just interesting because Cinderella has become, over the years, something for children. And there's aspects of the story that are very adult. And I think that this movie kind of delved into that a little bit. I would probably still bring a child to see it, but I would warn them ahead of time. This isn't a cartoon. This is something different.
I stuck Tom Cruise in front of the boob tube the other day because I had to go to the bathroom for a longer period of time. And I put him in front of whatever was on, Judge Wapner or whatever. I put him in front of that, and he was pretty sort of like a moth to the flame watching that.
I have a lot of children's movies, though, that you can show them. You don't have to put them in front of that. Tom Thumb, I've got, with Russ Tamblyn. I just picked that up the other day.
Next time I'll put on a movie for him, but I didn't want to go through that process of getting your shit out of order. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we got to go.
Are we doing a popcorn classic?
No, we're not doing anything like that. We got to go. Come on, we got to go to Hawaii. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I am your host, Tim Heidecker. With me is, I got Family Day here on Cinema. Ayaka, good to see you. And ladies and gentlemen, we have the first ever appearance on television of Tom Cruise, Heidecker, my son. Tom and Ayaka, thank you for joining me. And Greg Turkington as well is with me today. Sorry about this.
Hey guys, good to be here and to try to share my movie expertise, and maybe a little hard with little Tom
I
Cruise
apologize.
and some of the noises. But,
I apologize, but some of you guys know we've been traveling back and forth between LA and Hawaii as we continue to shoot Decker Season 2. And this is literally some of the only few hours I have to see my family this week. And I'm grateful to be able to spend time with them here on Cinema. And we want to give him something to shut him up for a bit. Okay. Let him. All right, and today's movies, we have the Diversion series, Insurgent, directed by Robert Schwenke, S-C-H-W Wenke, starring Shailene Woodley, Jace Courtesy, Miles Teller, Theo James. And Beatrice Pryor must confront her inner demons and continue fighting against a powerful alliance which threatens to tear her society apart. I like this movie a lot. It was an action film that I enjoyed watching, and I'm glad I got a chance to see it. So I give it 5 bags of popcorn. Greg?
yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I gotta say, some of it reminded me of our own Decker, but not as good, you know?
Yeah.
You get these sort of action plots and dealing with terrorists and spies and all that sort of stuff. It's hard not to reflect on what we're doing out in Hawaii and how much better it is than some of this Hollywood stuff. But nonetheless, I really liked this. I thought it was a lot of fun, a good break from everyday life. I'd give it 5 bags of popcorn.
All right, we highly recommend that. We also have The Gunman, directed by Pierre Morel, and starring the great Sean Penn, Idris Elba, and Javier Bardem. Interesting, an international spy, kind of like Decker, must clear his name in order to save himself from the organization that he used to work for, which is also a bit like Decker. Decker used to work for CIA, still does work for CIA, but I can imagine in future episodes not working for CIA, being sort of a rogue agent.
It's very similar. I don't think that these movies necessarily are stealing plot
Well, hold on
points
now. I
from
want to
Decker,
give my
but-
review. My official rating is 5 bags of popcorn for The Gunman, starring Sean Penn. And I recommend everybody go out and check that out because it's one of the great movies of the year. I think it's going to be an Oscar winner. But it did remind me of a certain Jack Decker, especially Season 2 of Decker, which is also airing right now. You'll recognize a very similar sort of feeling to The Gunman. So if you like Decker 2, check out The Gunman. Or if you like The Gunman, check out Decker 2, right now, airing now. And we're enjoying watching the season as a family. I think you've gotten a chance to see it. Yeah. And how's everything going for you since you are the guest? You had some good news in the past couple weeks. You've been busy.
I finally got a job
Yeah.
as a receptionist.
That's right.
It's Dr. Luther.
Dr. Luther. She's been telling me about this Dr. Luther, who's apparently a
He's brilliant.
brilliant
Healer.
holistic healer of some kind.
Yes,
And you're doing paperwork and that kind of thing, keep it paying the bills.
I respect him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. And of course, Tom Cruise is out there hitting the audition circuit, getting that headshot out there. And we're hoping to see him up on the silver screen soon because that's big money for him and us too. And hopefully we can get a commercial job or web series, whatever it is. We'll be looking forward to working with the directors who are interested in working with Tom Cruise. Heidecker.
He's really good.
He is good. And today he's a little under the weather, I know, but we're glad to have him on the show. And we're glad to have you on the show too. Greg, what'd you think of The Gunman?
I thought it was good. I mean, I've definitely seen better. I think that if you tune in nightly to Decker this week, I think you'll find it's a little better than this movie. I've definitely seen better. I prefer James Bond or John Decker or some of the other spy sagas that are out there. I think this, though, has its place. It's just something you might want to wait till this season of Decker is done with before you go see this so you don't get confused.
At that point, when Decker's done, I'd say go watch this, and I would give it 5 bags of popcorn.
Okay. All right, we have one additional segment today we're going to cut to. Greg Turkington, you have a segment today.
Yeah, we're actually, well, it's a very popular segment. It's called On Cinema, On Location. Let's cut to that.
Hollywood, California. Every street has a story, and these are but just a few on Cinema, On Location. Hey guys, welcome to another edition of On Cinema at the Cinema On Location. And for fans of Decker, we've got a special treat for you. This is actually the location where the treacherous Abdul meets his maker at the hands of President Decker. And if you've seen the show, and I know you have, this is where it all goes down. Of course, at that point, Decker throws the bomb up into the air where it turns into a beautiful Americana fireworks display. Back to you, Tim.
All right. You said gave away a kind of important plot point there with President.
Oh, shit. Well, that was my mistake. I'm sorry.
You kind of blew the ending by saying.
I know, I'm sorry. Shit.
All right. I'm gonna have to rewrite the ending. So that's what I got going. I gotta head back to Hawaii right now. Write the ending on the plane. Let's go. Come on. We're gonna miss the flight, Greg. Greg, car's waiting. Let's go.
I didn't mean to say president. It's just we've been working such long hours that it just.
I understand, but the point is, if people find out that he's going to be president, I got to come up with a whole completely different concept for the ending. All right, can we go now? All right. Ugh. Airplane food's disgusting. Welcome to On Cinema. My name is Tim Heidecker, and my guest is Greg Turkington. We are here once more reviewing movies. Let's get into it. Get Hard, starring directed by Ethan Cohen, starring Will Ferrell, Kevin Hart, and Alison Brie. When millionaire James King is nailed for fraud and bound for San Quentin, he turns to Darnell Lewis to prep him for life behind bars. I like this movie a lot. Greg, what did you think?
Yeah, this is, your classic comedy circa 2015. Will Ferrell, of course, and
did you see
Kevin
this movie?
Hart. I'm trying to see it, but it's just that because we were shooting Decker so late and I had to fly, that I wasn't able to see the whole thing.
But yeah, you have an opinion about it.
Well, I mean, I see a lot of movies, and a lot of times if you've seen
Somebody
them,
on this show we can't keep doing this show if you're
You
not going to
didn't see the movie?
I couldn't have, how am I supposed to see the movie if I've got to
Well, if I'm
direct and I'm
doing
on
the same
camera the
thing
whole
that-
time, and as soon as we wrap, I got to get back to the airport, and we're here, and there's absolutely barely enough time for me to go to the bathroom, let alone see a
I know, that's what I'm
Will
saying.
Ferrell movie.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's a great movie. It's just hard to operate at the same level that we're used to operating on this show when we're also doing Decker.
You're not carrying the weight that I need you to carry on this show, because somebody between the two of us has to find a way to see these movies so we can talk about it. Otherwise, why are we even doing the show?
You can't do two shows simultaneously.
Yes, you
and
can.
then
We're
they're
proving
not
that you can, and we're doing it right now. But I want you to go see this movie today.
We're flying back to Hawaii as soon as we're done
I
here.
don't care. There's movie theaters in Hawaii. We have time.
Yeah, but there aren't on the-
you shut up. You go see this movie today, and we'll do a supplementary. We'll have them cut this in or put it online as a separate piece.
I saw the other movie. I
Hold
saw
on.
Home. I was able to do that.
All right. I want you to make a mental note.
I just missed this
that
one,
you
but I
see
saw.
Get Hard as soon as you get to Hawaii.
I'll see it.
And
but
you give us a review next week of
You
Get
didn't
Hard.
see it either, but I saw Home, and you didn't
I don't
see
have
that.
to see this movie. I don't
But
have
you
to
didn't see either one. I saw
don't have
Home.
to. Shut up. I don't
I
have
went to Home.
Shut up. I don't have to see Get Hard to tell you that it's a 5-bag comedy.
Well, no, you do have to see it if you're going to give
I
the-
put my life on the line for this. This is my job. I'm the expert of
No, you're not.
knowing-
You're the host. I'm the expert.
I still give Get Hard 5 bags, and next week we'll hear Greg's review.
Okay, but
All
I
right.
did see the other movie and you didn't.
Let's talk about the next movie called Home. Home is where the heart is. Directed by Tim Johnson. I love a good Tim. Tim Heidecker. Tim Story, one of the directors from last season, was one of our directors. Starring Jim Parsons, Rihanna, Jennifer Lopez, and Steve Martin, the original bozo Steve Martin with the white shirt and white suit. When Earth is overtaken by an alien race called the Boov, a resourceful girl escapes capture and teams up with a bandaged alien for the road trip of a lifetime. Now, if I don't have time for Get Hard, I certainly don't have time for this Home.
I
did not
found
see
the
that
time to
movie.
see it. It wasn't that hard because we had downtime on Monday morning, and that's when I went to the 12 o'clock or 12:15 show.
Okay, well, you're not in prep meetings, and you're not approving wardrobe, or you're not trying to get our actors off book, and you're not doing rewrites at 3 in the morning. So, and you don't have a son who's not well. Okay.
Your
So-
son's not in Hawaii though.
Well, I'm on the phone. I'm talking to doctors and everything like that. So, go ahead. If you have a review, spit it out because everybody
works
wants to
for
know
a
whether
doctor.
or not.
Let them deal with it, but and then watch.
All right.
I mean,
Tell us your review of Home so we get some kind of perspective on here. I give it 4 bags of popcorn because it's not my kind of movie.
you didn't even. I mean, you can just give an empty tub or something. That means that you didn't see
Okay.
it.
What did you give it?
I give it 5 bags of popcorn. It's great. I mean, Steve Martin, it's always, you're never going to go wrong with Steve Martin. He's done a lot of movies, and I've loved them all. We've had a lot of his movies on Popcorn Classics before. What was I watching on the plane? Oh, God. We had the overnight flight, and I watched Sex Tape with Cameron Diaz. You were asleep, but I
The only
watched
time I can sleep is on the plane. I can't even sleep on planes, but I'm passing out
with
as soon as I
Jason
sit down.
Segel and Cameron Diaz. Was pretty funny. I was just surprised they would put that on a plane because it's pretty explicit.
Right.
And it's,
Well, I've been asking
it's
these
on the,
assholes who run this show here to give me screeners of these movies so I can watch these at home and not have to go to the movie theater and pay $18 to go
I'd
see
probably
these
rather
movies.
watch that at home than on a plane because
Yeah.
there's an older gentleman who was across the aisle from us, and I had Sex Tape on, and he's looking over my shoulder
We're
at
not talking about
some
Sex
of the
Tape.
nudity. It just seems kind of weird for an airline.
All right, we got a popcorn classic with Greg Turkington. That's that segment now.
Oh.
You have one?
Yeah. Jack Nicholson.
Oh yeah, Jack. I love Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, the man trouble. Jack Nicholson is Harry Bliss, wisecracking conman and the owner of the House of Bliss guard dog agency. Ellen Barkin is Joan, a single, sexy singer who discovers that her Hollywood Hills house was burglarized.
Did you see this movie or are you just reading off the back?
I just bought this last week. I haven't had a chance to see it.
Don't put
Well,
on the
don't-
Hollywood classics. Don't come on here and talk about movies you haven't seen. There's no f***ing point to it. That's it. Thank you for watching. You understand me? I'm not going to keep having you on if you're going to talk about movies you haven't seen. It doesn't make any sense. It's a
But-
complete waste. All right, we got to go. We
It's
have
a
to catch-
popcorn
we have to
classic.
get
The
in
segment's
car and
not
get on
called
the
movies that
flight.
I've seen.
Let's go.
It's not called movies I've seen. It's called popcorn classics. It doesn't matter if I've seen it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I'm your host, Tim Heidecker, and I'm joined by my guest this week is Greg Turkington.
Hey guys, good to be back and reviewing movies once again.
Yes, and we'd like to, I think, both apologize for the past few weeks. It's been very challenging, but we've sort of hit our stride. We've kind of got into a rhythm now, and we admit that the past few weeks of On Cinema have been not fair to the audience, to the On Cinema family. It's been disrespectful to you. And per our agreement last week, I believe, Greg, you owe us a review of
I did.
Get Hard.
Yeah,
right?
I have to admit I was very tired last week, and I don't think I really brought my A game, as we say. But
We didn't bring any game. We didn't see the movie.
you didn't see it either. So.
No, well, I don't have to know
Well, you
that it was a
do,
great
because
movie.
the premise of the show is two guys comparing their opinions about the movie and seeing if they agree or disagree.
Well, I think I'll be proven right when I get to see the movie eventually and find out that I nailed it.
Well, you could have
Anyways,
watched it because I watched actually in Pearl City because we were shooting out by Pearl Harbor,
Yeah,
Don't say
the film is called Get Hard. It's a comedy with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart, and it's very much in the vein of the old Silver Streak or Trading Places, a prison film essentially, but with a heart of gold and a lot of laughs. And I would say that Will Ferrell has cemented his role as the Gene Wilder of our generation, and that Kevin Hart is the Eddie Murphy. And so you pair those up and you're gonna have a great movie. I wish you'd seen it, Tim. I think
Well,
you would agree with me. It's a 5-bag of popcorn
I
movie
already
without
gave
a
it the
doubt.
5 bags, which I'm standing
Well.
by, and appreciate that review. And you did the right thing. You know,
No, I wanted to see it. I've been waiting to see that movie for months, ever since it was first announced.
all right. Well, I'm glad we're on the same page there.
Well, we're not, because I saw the movie and you didn't.
Well, we are definitely going to be on the same page when I see it. Let's get into these week's movies. I want to say, by the way, it's been a blast doing Decker with you. It's been fun being out there in Hawaii. I actually went body surfing for the first time the other day, met some cool guys, turned me on to some moves. It's kind of sad. We got one more big shoot coming up. We leave tonight and we wrap things up on Decker. Thank you guys
Just
so
the
much
last scene.
for the last couple of scenes we're shooting there, and it's going to be a little bittersweet to say goodbye. And thank you everybody for watching Decker 2, Port of Call, Hawaii, Operation Rescue the
I
Island.
haven't seen the script yet for the final scene, so
I am
I'm
still
as curious
tweaking,
as the viewers
I'm
are.
still tweaking it, and there's quite. We want to keep things under wraps. You know, you always hear about these directors who don't tell their actors what's going to happen because you don't want leaks to come out, and I don't want anybody to find out the surprise ending of Decker Season 2, Port of Call, Hawaii, Operation Save the Island. Let's get to Furious 7, directed by James Wan, starring Vin Diesel. This was a good one. Paul Walker, who's dead, died on this movie. Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham, Kurt Russell, the great Kurt Russell. Deckard, another tip of the hat from the filmmaker, Deckard Shaw, but my character's name is Decker. This is Deckard. Interesting.
And the other one was Kingsman or something, and it was in Kingston. I mean, these guys are watching Decker and getting a lot of their ideas from it.
And they really are. Of course, my character's name is Jack Decker, but this is Deckard Shaw. Seeks revenge against Dominic Toretto and his family for the death of his brother. And that is the name of the movie is Furious 7. And Lucky 7 because this was lucky enough to be one of my favorite movies of the year. And it was full of adventure and action and high-speed car chases, which we see a little bit of that in Decker, interestingly enough. And I enjoyed it, and all the best to Vin Diesel and the whole family. The whole Furious 7, this is their film, and they deserve every award they're going to get. And it's a 7-bagger. It's my first 7 bags of popcorn, and I know you're going to call me out on that, but it is a 7-bag movie.
I think it's strange that they call it Furious 7 instead of Fast and the Furious 7 because there was no Furious 1. I mean, you can't just cut half the title out but keep the numbering system. That's a little strange. I also think it's very sad that Paul Walker passed away, never got to see this movie. I think he would have liked it. It's a very, very good film. If you like car chases, sometimes you don't when you see that they end in fatal accidents. Sometimes enough is enough.
You hear about these characters who die on the set of movies like The Crow and Twilight Zone. Of course, Paul Walker in Furious 7, going so young, so earlier before his time, as they say. But the good news is he did doing what he did, which is driving very fast. And that's what this movie celebrates. So in a way, it's a wonderful way for him to go. You'd hate to hear about him slipping on ice and breaking his neck and choking on his own blood or something.
Or just some sort of cancer or something like that. I mean, you get people that live to be 100 years old like George Burns, and you think, geez, do we really enjoy the last few movies he made when he was in his 90s? Not really,
It's almost like as if Bruce Lee would have been killed getting karate chopped in the neck or something would have been an appropriate way to go.
He got punched in the stomach and then had a fatal stomach ulcer.
Well, there
or
you
something.
go. That's the way to go. And if I had to go, it would be maybe as Decker parachuting or driving almost the same way Paul Walker passed, which is speeding along in a high-speed car chase. It would be quite a scene, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but
Go out in a blaze of glory.
But anyway, I think Furious 7 is fantastic. I'm going to have to give it 5 bags of popcorn plus a little kind of commemorative gold cross in memory of Paul Walker, R.I.P.
Thanks, Paul, for all the high-speed car chases, which put such a smile on my face over the years. Woman in Gold, directed by Simon Curtis, starring Ryan Reynolds, Katie Holmes, and Helen Mirren. Maria Altman, an octogenarian Jewish refugee, takes on the government to recover artwork she believed rightfully belonged to her family. This was a sad movie. Brought a tear to my eye in the same way that the passing of Paul Walker did. Something I learned from values.com was to check in with your emotions every once in a while, and don't be afraid to cry. Even grown men can cry, and I certainly did during Woman in Gold. It made me think about the Jews in a way that I never had done before, which is that they were persecuted. Obviously they were persecuted, but not just hurt, but some of their gold was taken too.
Yeah, when this came out, when it was announced and I saw it, I thought, okay, Woman in Gold, this is going to be a sequel to Woman in Red, which was one of my favorite comedies of the 1980s. And then I read the description and I'm like, this is not a sequel to Woman in Red. This is a very different film. And it's not the kind of thing I would take small children to, unless you're trying to teach them something about history, in which case I do recommend it. Helen Mirren is always great. She's kind of a national treasure. She should be in gold. They should make a statue of Helen Mirren in gold and give that out at the Oscars because she's fantastic. I just adore her. I give her 5 bags of popcorn and with some golden butter on it. So women in gold.
Yeah, I give it 5 bags of popcorn and 6 cups of soda. And I think I want to dedicate this episode to Paul Walker. And I think the Academy should honor him this year and say, we should officially, this is just an idea off the top of my head, change his name to Paul Driver, because that's what he loved doing, is driving cars fast. And that is very cool. Obviously Marilyn Monroe was Norma Jean, she changed her
Arnold
name.
Schwarzenegger kept his name, and that's one of the more difficult names to pronounce or to spell.
But
and he
why
kept
call
the name
somebody that
anyway.
loved driving cars after he's dead? Who cares anymore? Why not change his name from Walker, which doesn't represent what he does? What he does is drive fast. So you change his name to Paul Driver or Paul Turbo.
I just think if you're going to change the names, you change it while they're alive so that they can trade on that trademark, you know what I mean? I mean, somebody like Sylvester Stallone. Stallone is like a powerful kind of name. Stallone, you know. If he's Sylvester Jones, that's not really going to...
Well, my point is, obviously you can't change it now. It's beyond the point. I mean, they could change it now, which they should. Why not honor him by changing it to something cool like Paul Turbo, Paul Driver, Paul Car?
But then you have to go fix the credits for all the movies he made to reflect the new name. And
They did that with old Star Wars movies when they added Jabba the Hutt to all the different
Yeah,
scenes.
but nobody's happy with that. I liked it, but most people
it's a
prefer...
neat way to show some respect. Thank you guys so much, and we'll be joining you for the season finale of On Cinema next week, and also Decker Decker season 2
on Friday night. We'll
the
see how it all ends.
Finale of Decker's season 2. Got to finish watching that show too.
I just want to thank our Hawaiian crew and our Hawaiian actors and everybody we met in Hawaii. And
What did
thanks
we
for
learn?
the
I want
hospitality.
to say mahalo to all the people in Hawaii.
Mahalo and aloha.
Aloha.
And
Yeah, really nice people for natives. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, so all I'm saying is that why not honor the guy? Who cares about the name is so generic anyways, Paul Walker. He doesn't belong to drive.
yeah, I just think that his family, they want to be associated with him. So for
They
them
can change
to...
their name too.
But that's a lot of letterhead you have to replace and driver's licenses. And I just don't think they're going to think it's worth it.
I don't know why you don't want me to think off the top of my head now.
Well, it's not...
Hi everybody, welcome to the final episode of On Cinema at the Cinema for this season. My name is Tim Heidecker, and I am here with my guest today, Ayaka. Hello, darling. Thanks for filling in at the last minute. We had a guest cancellation, and I'm so glad you were able to come by. Everybody's probably saying, where's Tom Cruise, Heidecker, but he's being taken. Ayaka's mother's in town. Her name,
Mikia.
say again?
Mikia.
Makia. She's watching our little boy, and it's been great. Just been great. Back from Hawaii, settling in, back. Good to be back, and kind of spreading out a little bit more, getting out of the master bedroom, and a lot more space now, so we're able to use the rest of the apartment. It's been really nice. It's been really good. So we saw these movies together. We'll get into it here. Ex Machina, directed by Alex Garland, starring Oscar Isaac, Domhnall Gleeson, and Alyssa Vikander. A young programmer is selected to participate in a breakthrough experiment evaluating the human qualities of a breathtaking female AI. And this was great. I loved this movie. Did you like it?
Yes, yeah,
I
exciting.
thought it was exciting. I liked all the action and sort of that drama that happened too. I love this. I recommend it to everybody I see. I give it 5 bags of popcorn.
Me too.
5 bags of popcorn from Ayaka and Tim. What else we have here? The Moon and the Sun, directed by Sean McNamara. Yeah. Starring Pierce Brosnan, guess once again, with William Hurt and Benjamin Walker. King Louis the X1V, 5, 6, X plus 1. X plus 1 plus 5 is 6, so it's 16. So King Louis, I don't know the Roman
I don't
numerals.
know the math.
16's quest for immortality leads him to capture a mermaid's life force, a move that's complicated when his daughter discovers the creature. So this is a mermaid movie, and one of the best mermaid movies I've seen since Splash, starring Tom Hanks. And it reminded me of Splash, this movie, because of the mermaids and some of that romance, which I loved. And of course, Ron Howard's a great director, and so is Sean McNamara, the director of The Moon and the Sun, starring Pierce Brosnan. Did you like this movie? Was it was it as good as some other movies you had seen?
I don't really like mermaids, so
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
A little weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, I never
Yes.
seen mermaid before. So
No. Well, I'll give it 5 bags of popcorn.
3 bags of popcorn.
Ayaka gives it 3 bags of popcorn. I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn and 5 bags of soda, too. Because I love Pierce Brosnan and William Hurt and all the guys in this movie here. Interesting history, too, I thought. All right. Well, did you say you had a popcorn classic? We don't have the VHS tapes, but we got a movie on iTunes. If anyone's done this before, you can rent movies on iTunes now. And we watched The Hangover the other day, Hangover 2.
Yep.
And that was very funny and had a bunch of different, I don't know, if you like the Hangover movies, you'll like this one, right?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And I'm sweating now because I know what I got to do. I wanted to do this for a long time now, and I might as well do it. I just want to, we've been going together now for a while and having a great time. It's so good to be back on track with you in our little space. It's been
Master
such
bedroom.
a master bedroom, now the whole place. And little Tom Cruise is such a joy. And I want us to be closer. Something, as values.com says, if you got something you love, hold on to it as hard as you can. And I've messed up in the past, and we've been through some tough times, but I want them all to be good from now on. All right, so I think, come here, sit here. I think you know what I'm about to do. Ayaka? Would you marry me?
Yay!
There we go. Thank you for saying yes.
I'm so happy.
Maybe we'll get married in Hawaii.
Perfect.
Let's go tell you. Let's go see Tom Cruise. Come here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.